Tripp here, speaking about something very important. It's the thorny issue of, can you, with hypnosis, get somebody to do something against their will? Now, I have a perspective on this, and it is not easy to explain. So I hope you'll bear with me on this, because I'm going to do my very best to get this concept across to you. I do not believe that with hypnosis you can get people to do things against their will. I just don't think that you can. I think that a lot of the time you can get people to do things they wouldn't ordinarily do, but if they have a genuine will for that new reality to not happen, to not take, I think generally speaking it doesn't happen. And this is based on my experience, it's based on observation, it's based on paying attention. And another thing that I do a lot of, that a lot of hypnotists don't do, is I interview subjects afterwards in a very candid and frank way about their experience, because I want to know what their experience was. I don't just take it on face value. So I don't think that you can get people to do things with hypnosis against their will. I think that you can sometimes do things covertly so they don't get to enact their will and they're not really aware of it. But these are softer kind of phenomena. I think that you can get people to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do. But there is a certain category of hypnosis skit which is often designed to demonstrate this capacity to make people do things against their will, to do this Svengali mind control thing that a lot of hypnotists are into. Now, I got asked about this specifically. I got asked to do this video specifically by one of the subscribers to this blog, the Hypnosis Without Trance blog, because they'd seen a discussion I'd been involved in on Facebook. Now on Facebook, another hypnotist had posted a video that allegedly showed evidence that hypnosis could make people do things against their will. The video showed somebody having had their name changed from, it was a guy, so his name had been changed to a girl's name. Let's say, we use the example of Sally. I don't want to identify the specific video in this. So the guy had his name changed to, we'll say, Sally. And the hypnotist was challenging him and saying, what's your name, tell me your name. And the guy ostensibly is trying not to say Sally because he doesn't want to. And he's going, Sally. And it looks like he doesn't want to say Sally. He looks like he doesn't want to say Sally. It looks like he wants to say his real name and he's struggling, and Sally comes out. And he looks a bit pissed off about this. And at one point, if I remember rightly, he even kind of flicks the bird. I'll have to check that back because I might be imagining that. But it really looks like he doesn't want to do it, and the hypnotist is making him do it against his will. This is what we see. But I would like you to be aware that there is a huge difference between what we perceive and what is actually going on. I'm a performer, I'm a mentalist. I'm not really doing any these days, but a magician and a mentalist. And one of the principles that gets used in the subtler end of mentalism is the concept of dual reality. Now in dual reality, what the audience sees and what they interpret as happening for the subject is actually a different thing from what the subject experience is happening. And I think this happens a lot with hypnosis. So let's take the case of the guy who has had his name changed to Sally, and apparently he doesn't want that. When we see that, his behaviour is congruent with a certain reality. What I believe is going on here is that this particular subject is actually invested personally and psychologically on many levels on going along with the hypnotist and the hypnotist's desires. And that there's a certain unread situation that comes about, that evolves, that develops, whereby he's sort of like, yeah, I'm in this reality where I don't want this to happen, but I do want it to happen. And this is the best way to describe it. In a sense, he doesn't want his name changed to a girl's name in front of the audience, but he is more invested in this piece of hypnosis working for various reasons, because he's a student of this person, whatever it might be. So therefore, it's allowed to happen, it's allowed to unfold. It's what I call unconscious pantomime. And I've seen it a lot with various hypnosis routines being done. It's happened with me, whereby I set something up and somebody pantomimes along with it. Now they're not stooges, it's not set up. They're not even consciously aware, or at least they push out of consciousness the fact that they're complying and playing along. So it even appears to them themselves that this is really what's happening. But on a deeper level, they are psychologically invested in this thing happening and it being real. So that motivation overrides and they unconsciously pantomime the thing. And the key is unconsciously. This is not playing along consciously. This is not just going, yeah, I just went along because I didn't want to make the guy look silly. Consciously, it seems to be happening all by itself because it's like they literally put that, what Ellman would call the critical faculty, they put it offline and they just let that scenario play out. So next time you see a video of hypnosis, which is allegedly hypnosis against somebody's will, and be specific about that. Somebody doing something they wouldn't normally do is not the same as somebody doing something against their will. But next time you see video evidence of somebody ostensibly doing something under hypnosis against their will, remember, there is something going on at a deeper level. At a deeper level, they are invested in going along with what's happening, and they are invested in making a particular reality happen. It is not truly, I would say, and this is my belief, and other people will disagree, but they are not truly being manipulated against their will. It's kind of an effect, it's kind of an illusion. I hope, as I say, this is a reasonably tricky thing to kind of communicate and get across. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope it hasn't disappointed anybody too much who is learning hypnosis from a kind of Svengali mind control perspective. The reality is, and I've said this before, step out of the role of Svengali and into the role of facilitator of experience. Now when you do that, when you let go of those ideas about hypnosis being mind control, actually you'll become a lot better hypnotist, and people who you do hypnosis with will appreciate what you do for them a lot more, because you will be respecting them as a human being. Okay, I hope that makes sense. As I say, it's the concept of unconscious pantomime. Understand that concept and you will understand that a lot of what you see with hypnosis apparently being mind control is not. It's about a subtler psychological process which is in fact very real and very powerful in itself. Okay, thanks for listening. I hope you got a lot out of that video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future.